enough of it to make me stew not. I'm always in a little pain. Actually, one of the subs had mentioned that to me in one of the comments. He says, I can tell you're in pain because you're squinting. Well, yeah, you tend to, squint or tighten up when you're in pain. So, I'm mostly in pain. And then the squinting becomes a habit. So even when you're not in pain, you squint. So, alright, so those are done. Now I'm just going to let them cure. And then I'm going to decide what lighting is going into this one. Because this is the one that's going to have the light. And I got to make the shade. How's that coming along? Let me go see. Hold on. Alright, I'm going to give it away. I wasn't going to let you see the shade until I was done with it, but let me take you over there. I've been looking for bark, and what I've been doing is siliconing the bark together, and eventually it's going to be round, and the bark, the lampshade, is just going to be made of bark. And then I'm going to encapsulate it, encapsulate it in the epoxy, the resin, so I don't have to worry about any of it being dusty or anything. And that'll also help hold it and strengthen it. So I've been looking around the yard for different pieces. Then I use the clamps and silicone, and I clamp it together slowly, rounding it over time, as you can see, and that's it. Now, it'd be great if I was able to find a couple of nice pieces of rounded bark, but I can't seem to find any, because as we work over there and work on the wood, we start crushing whatever bark is laying on the ground. So, alright, so I'm going to shut this off for a few minutes, because I got to do some research on a motor, and I also want to do some trying on the 12-volt motor with the bushing. So I got to put all that back together and get up there and figure out a way of mounting it real quick. So I'm going to shut you guys off for a few minutes and do what I got to do. Alright, I just ordered, and I probably won't be able to find it again. So now, well, let's see, maybe let me check my emails. I just found, actually I ordered 3 things. I cannot get on.
Well, that was a night to remember now.
I cannot get on
Jesus. All right, good night, guys.
the internet. Excuse me, without spending money. I just can't go to and buy just what I need. I have to start looking at other things, and it's not going to come up here in these mails. What I looked for was a slow, I think it was speed motor. I don't remember how I actually found it now. Slow speed, high torque. And I think it was this one. Yeah. Alright, I got it for $13 though. This is $14. Or $15, and I got it for $14. They have a 5-speed, or 5, yeah, it's 5 turns per minute. So it's 1, 2, you follow me? And a 9-speed. This one only has 5, 6, and 10. So I bought a, well, what are these? Turbo sensors. I bought a 5 revolutions per minute and a 9 revolutions per minute. Ah, what's this? How much are these things? I wonder if they're worth ordering. Nah, I ain't gonna worry about it right now. Anyway, I ordered 2 motors, and then I did order a bench power supply. Now, if you go to Antron, or Astron rather,
Good evening, everybody. I'm Andy Cohen. Tonight I'm with the lovely ladies from
and Astron Corporation,
New Jersey.
and let's just look at some power supplies real quick. Let's look for linear. I like linear. Desktop.
And another who took on Teresa.
I want variable linear with this.
It's good to see you
Okay.
not under a flip table, Jackie.
I agree.
Okay, so now here's what we have.
So, Teresa,
And we have a radio. So what do we have here? We have a 12.
you recently
Now if you look down here, remember I was telling you 12, 20, 35. Right. Well, if you look at the 35 that I have the 35 variable. This is the one I have. And I had told you that I thought it was somewhere between 25 and 27 amps continuous. And what it is, it's 25 amp
Okay, we're going to get into that
continuous.
more later.
Alright. Now it's variable, so I could change it. If I go down to 5 volts, it's 7 amps. At 13.8 volt, it's 25 amp. So it's a 25 amp continuous, but they list it as a 35 because it's got a 35 amp surge. So if you're doing something, let's just say hypothetically, I've got the radio on and it's working at 25 amps. And I key the mic and it jumps up to 30 for that brief second. Well, then it'll handle that brief jump. Or when you first turn it on, it'll give you that 35 amps. But it's not going to be a continuous amperage. Okay. Now, the one that I need is a 70, and that'll give me 57 amps continuous. However, that particular power supply is 420 bucks. Now, do I need it? Yes. But do I need it? No. The one I have is working as long as I'm not running everything at full power, which I normally don't. I'll be okay. However, I couldn't run 2 radios with 2 people talking on both radios at the same time. You know, in other words, if there was somebody else here and they're on one radio, I'm on the other, and we're both talking, we're both being fed off that power supply, it's not going to handle it. Eventually, it's going to cause damage to the radios, or power supply. So that's where that other one comes in, the 70, because it's 50, what was it, 59 amps continuous? Yeah, 57 amps continuous. All right. But, yeah, I need it. But I don't need it, if I follow. Now, I was thinking about buying it and putting this one, the 35, which was $200 and something, over here on the workbench. So I have one on the bench, because this one is just a piece of shit. And I need a variable and have one on the bench. But do I need to spend $420 to upgrade that one, to move that one over here, and that one is overkill for over here? Am I making sense? So what I done was, but I'll tell you what, if you want a good power supply, and you're going to buy one, and you want it to be right, buy bigger, but also look at the Antrons. Now, I went on to, let's go here, let's check out variable power SUPPLIES supplies. Now, I found this one, 0 to 30 volts. So that'll go from 0 to 30 volts at 0 to 10 amps for 90 bucks. So I bought it with those 2 motors. Now this one is showing 0 to 30 volts, but only 5 amp. It's $57. 5.2 amp. Nah, it's a 5 amp. Because you got to remember, that 5 amp is not going to be 5 amp. It's only going to be like 3 amps. Alright? 10 amp. $119. Now this gives you a little bit more control, and plus it gives you an extra meter, but it wasn't worth for what I needed to do. It's not worth spending an extra 40 bucks or 30 bucks to get it. This one here works just fine for me, so I ordered this one. And that's what I mean, I can't get on the internet and buy just one thing. I was looking for a motor. I found the motor, but then they had two different types that may work, so I bought two of them. Doesn't hurt to have a backup. But then I'm thinking, well, I also need that power supply. So let me order that while I'm there. And that's what happens. Alright, so I am not going to deal with this other one right now. And deal with the curtain, because I am going to use one of the ones that I just ordered. So that gives me a little bit of time today to kind of just putz around and finish cleaning up. I want to clean this up a little bit. This is, wow, look it, I can actually walk through here. Oh boy. And I started cleaning up some of the counters. For instance, this counter is totally clean. So now I can rip that out of there. Find a home for that stuff, and I can rip that out of there. And then that whole corner will be clean. So then, if I want to move this over to there, I can. Even if I don't take the chimney down, I can still move it over. And I'll still have all this room here that I can still utilize by putting up a bench of some sort. And what happened was I had to clean this counter off, so I had a place to put all that stuff. So now this is all done. This is the heat press for the shirts. And this is the Kydex press that I made for doing holsters or whatever it is you want to do. So that's set up for that. I still have to clean this up a little bit. This motor can go out there in the other shop. I got a motor with a squirrel cage. Actually, I could put that motor down there with that one, because that motor has got the squirrel cage on it as well. So I could put that motor down there, because that's a replacement motor for either the squirrel cage or my buffing wheel that I made or put together. You know, it's just parts that I didn't really make it. I just found all the parts and put them together. So so that's what I have for a buffing wheel, using that motor, which is also that. So I gotta clean this up a little bit. And I also have another motor here, which has got a fan on it, which is also fast, so it's too fast. So I'll put that up there with all the other motors. I gotta change that. I need a bigger one. And so that's gonna get cleaned up. But this all came from there. So this is what I gotta find a home for now. So, if I remember right, this is all painting supplies, rollers, stuff like that. So I can take a lot of those brushes, put them in this, and put this out in the other shed. These are the ice cream sticks. I don't need them all in here. I need, you know, maybe 100 of them in here because I use them for mixing and things like that. So I can take this and put it out in the other shed. The holsters and leather good, I'll put those up on the shelf up there, and that'll clear this all off. So that's clear. This one's almost clear, but I can't do much with this one because I do have this on here, and that's a bench that I use, so that's that. But however, once I get done with this, this will be, well, actually this may be one of these benches just to put things while I'm waiting for them to dry. It's over here, it's out of the way, it's not going to get in the way, like those pieces of wood that I have over there. So maybe I'll just move them over here now and not have to worry about it. I'll take this shim over there with me. Take this has got to get cut up, but for now I'll put it down there. I'll put that there. I'll put that there. Nuts and bolts, I'll put them right here for now. Alright, so let's go over here and get a couple pieces of this so that I have this open so I can work on it. So